It's just after 11:30 on a quiet summer night in Lebanon, Missouri. Streetlights cast long shadows across tidy lawns, the kind of neighborhood where you'd expect nothing worse than a barking dog to break the silence. But then sharp cracks split the air. The sound is caught by a doorbell camera just a few feet away from where a 21-year-old mother-to-be is gasping for air. In the nursery down the hall, tiny clothes are folded, a crib stands ready, and colorful balloons from her baby's shower sway gently in the cool air from the vent. The baby she was just weeks from meeting has no idea what's happening. By the time police arrive, Regan Wilson is on the floor, bleeding out. The life she dreamed of for her son is disappearing by the second, and the person police believe pulled the trigger? Not a stranger, not a burglar, but the man who once vowed to love her forever. Welcome back to the Criminal Minds. June 5th, 2025, 11:37 p.m. Officers arrive at a single-story home, greeted by flashing porch lights and chaos. Neighbors are outside, some barefoot, some clutching phones, all staring at the house like they can't believe what's happening. Inside, officers find Regan. She's 34 weeks pregnant, barely clinging to life. Her breathing is shallow. Blood pools beneath her. On her front porch, the doorbell camera is still rolling. Investigators will later play it over and over, each frame burned into their memory. A shadow moving toward the door, a rapid burst of gunfire, and then silence. Doctors at the hospital fight for hours. Regan doesn't make it, but her baby boy, Silas, is delivered by emergency C-section. For a week, he hangs on. Machines keep his tiny lungs moving. Family members pray, talk to him, beg him to stay. Then silence again. 2 lives stolen. But the way it happened tells police one thing. This was personal. And the first question they ask is the one that always comes first in cases like this. Who stood to gain from Regan's death? Before the headlines, before the police tape, Regan Wilson was simply joy in human form. She was 21, with a smile that made strangers smile back. She loved being around her mother, her siblings, her friends. She had a job in healthcare and plans to go back to school to become a nurse. Her unborn son, Silas, was her whole world. She'd already painted his nursery, rearranged it 6 times, making sure every blanket, every onesie, every tiny pair of socks had its place. Days before the shooting, she had dinner with her mom and brother. She laughed. She talked about how she couldn't wait to meet her son. There was no sign of fear. But behind that joy was something she didn't talk about much. A marriage that had fallen apart long before Silas was even born. Sidney Frederick Wilson. On paper, he was a man she married in a whirlwind romance. In reality, he was the man she wanted nothing more to do with. They'd met, married fast, and before long, she was pregnant. But soon after, Regan confided to her family that she couldn't explain it. Just being around him made her feel sick. By December 2024, she had left. They were separated. She was moving forward with her pregnancy alone. She made it clear she didn't want Sidney or his family in the delivery room. And yet, separation didn't mean freedom. Sidney still called, still messaged, still lingered. Then, on the night of June 5th, a shadow appears on Regan's doorbell camera. Minutes before the shooting, the grainy footage shows a thin man in a camo hoodie, gloves, and a face covering walking toward her home. He doesn't knock. He doesn't call out. He just approaches. The image isn't perfect, but to one local deputy, something about the way he walks stops him cold. He knows that walk. It's Sidney. Police pull security footage from a Goodwill store where Sidney had been days before. The walk is identical. Same rhythm, same slight lean. But they need more than a walk to charge someone with murder. They dig into his alibi. Sidney says he was home all night. Phone GPS tells a different story, except during the exact window of the shooting, when his location mysteriously disappears. That gap isn't a coincidence. It's a red flag waving in the dark. When police ask about his gun, Sidney says he sold it to a man in a parking lot. No receipt, no name, just gone. Then investigators find restaurant footage from after the supposed sale, and there he is, carrying the same gun. They dust Regan's bedroom window for prints. Fresh fingerprints pop. The window looks recently disturbed, like someone tried to open it. Location tracking from the app shows something even more disturbing. Sydney's phone pinged near Regan's home, not just the night she died, but twice in the weeks before. Witnesses stepped forward. More than one says they'd heard Sydney make chilling comments. That life would be easier if Regan wasn't around. And at the hospital, with Regan fighting for her life and Silas clinging to his, Sydney doesn't ask if they're okay. He asks when he can get his car back. Regan's mother remembers the moment she found out. Not from police, from her other daughter's boyfriend. His voice was shaking. "You need to come now." By the time she got there, the worst had already happened. Her sister Riley had tried CPR, counting compressions through tears. Neighbors stood in the yard, unable to move. Now, every day, her mother drives past two places, the home where her daughter's life ended and the cemetery where she rests. It's a wound that doesn't close. But the family refuses to let her be remembered only for how she died. They talk about her laugh, her stubborn streak, her excitement for motherhood. Police arrest Sydney Frederick Wilson. 2 counts of first-degree murder. No bond. Prosecutors prepare for trial. The case is strong. The footage, the GPS gaps, the prints, the witnesses. But the family knows trials can drag on for years. While they wait, they create something lasting in her name, a scholarship for students entering healthcare. They order bracelets with her name. They speak her story at vigils. Regan's gone, but her name is everywhere. Regan's story isn't about a stranger in the dark. It's about danger living in plain sight. She thought leaving was enough. It wasn't. 2 lives were taken in minutes, but the ripples will last for decades, in her family, her community, and in the child she never got to raise. Now it's your turn. Do you think the evidence is enough for justice? Or will Sydney's lawyers find a way to create doubt? I'll be in the comments reading what you think. And don't forget to subscribe.